Hello everyone, my name is Yogesh and today I'm giving a lecture on SQL basics. So this lecture will be totally for beginners who are starting their career with SQL. Now let's start. So in this today lecture we will be covering simple SQL queries and we will be working with where clause, group by clause and having clause. After this lecture I will be recording one more lecture. It will be on like do we need relational table and how to join them. And in both of these lectures I will be working on lot of I will be telling you lot of practical side, not the theoretical side, but I will be telling you theory also whenever it is required. But more focus will be on practical from my side. Okay. So let's start with simple theory about SQL. What is SQL? SQL stands for Structured Query Language. It is a high level language which provide you capability to query data from any structured data. Now structured data sources are tables because they have columns, rows into them, so they have a fixed structure. So with SQL you can query them. Now as basically SQL is a high level language. Okay, so high level language means language which we use, which is used by us to communicate. So it is general English. If you will read any SQL query, it will be like like an complete English sentence which make a sense. It is not like you have to be particularly expert in something. The every query make a sense to you, so you can understand it as you understand English, so there is no difficulty. Now for learning purpose you don't need to install any SQL server or anything else. You can directly practice on basically editor provided by W3C. Link is here. If you will open this link, they have this they will show you this editor. Here you can type the query, you can run it, and it will show you the output here. So these are the output of the queries. Okay, the query we executed. So you can practice here. Now if you'll see, let me show it to you. Okay, just give me a second, let me make it larger. Now here are different tables which you can query. So this is basically a Northwind database provided by W3C online, so that you can try SQL on it. So these are the tables we will be working on. So let me show you the basics first. Okay, now coming to back to this window. So like on this window we will be practicing SQL. So like let me introduce you what we will be doing. As we will be working on select statement, so we will be doing most of our exam like sample or query execution on this sample table. This is customer table. So it has six columns which are customer ID, customer name, contact name, address, city, postal code and country. So we'll be doing practice on this table, and there will be few more tables like product and category also, but initially we will be working on these two tables. Okay, sorry, in only with this table. So before starting it, let me show you a simple conversation between you and computer. Like suppose this is you and this is the computer. Now you are asking computer to select. Now question like the question from computer side is like what to select. Now you are saying I need to select customer name, contact name, address and city. Okay. Now next question is from where? You are telling from customer. That is the table name. So if you will see this conversation, you have automatically built this query like select customer name, contact name, address, city from customer, and this is the complete SQL statement. If you will, if you want to like execute this, and this will work. Okay. Now let's start our practical. Okay, so basically I have pre-prepared some of the queries. Okay, now okay, starting with the first query, this is having a star aristic sign into it. Aristic sign stands for like wildcard in SQL. So it means that you are selecting all the columns, you are not specifying a particular column name. So initially if you will see this query, this is selecting all columns and all data from the table. So uh, aristic sign is wildcard. It stands for like selecting all columns and all data. Okay, now coming toward the specific one, like the query which you type, like which you have made, like which we made during this, like when I was showing this conversation, like you said, you need to select customer name, contact name, address, and city from the customer. So if you will see, I will just copy paste this query. It is having the select customer name, comma contact name, comma address, comma city from customer name. You can have it in single line or multiple line. That doesn't matter. If you will run this query, it will give you output here. Okay, now here if you will see, you have only these four columns, you are not selecting all the columns down. So this is the first basic query. Let us do some more operation also. Like suppose I have this query, I want to combine two columns. So if I will do this, it will be combining okay, I think it is giving that output. hmm I think I think there is some problem with Opera. It is not executing query correct. Let me do it on I. Okay, now I've just pasted same query. Now if you will execute this, it will provide you results set like customer name, contact name, and a random generated column name, but with the output address combined with hyphen then city. Now here you have all the address combined with hyphen and your city. So you have done this. Now there is one more thing. Yeah, you can also give alias to this one. Now the next thing is giving alias. Like if you will see the name it has given to this random generated output is in random generated column name. So you cannot use this when you are doing hard code. So you can what you can do is you can provide alias to this. So you have provided an alias like you want this result as result set called as address. So if you will execute this, it will give you name like this, like customer name, contact name, address. And now address is having basically combined output, address combined with hyphen then combined with city. Okay, now coming to the next query, let's see what we have. Okay, now coming to the where clause. So suppose there is a conversation between you and computer, like after this executing this query, you are saying that I don't want all the data. Okay, now the computer will ask what data you need. Then from your side you are saying that details where customers are from Berlin city. Sorry, I missed R here. Okay, not mind. So here what you are saying is you want all the customers who are from Berlin city. So the statement will be like this: select customer name, contact name, and random generated columns like combined columns from customer where city is equal to Berlin. So if I will execute this one in my IE, so I have only one record which is from Berlin. Okay, now doing some more operation on where. Let's play with where. Okay, now you have or clause with like or clause also like or operator basically. So you can use or operator with where. Here you have two conditions. Let me show it to you. You are saying, suppose you are saying that I need customers from Berlin city and also from London. Okay, now if you will run this query, you have some of the records who are either from Berlin or from London. Now there is an and clause also, like basically and operator also, which you can also use. Now suppose you don't want all from London. You are like you are saying I just want a particular person, like the person who are from which are having which are from city London and having postal code this one like WA1 space 1 DP. So if I will execute this query, so you have only one record. Okay, let me add postal code here. Postal. So if you will see this person is having only this postal code. So there in the previous query, if you will see, we have few records from London, not only the one. So and after we type this query, like when we specify the postal code, we have and condition like we need only the person who are from London and having this postal code. If you will see, if I combine this output postal code, so you have this one output. Now also there are few more things which you can do. Basically there is a like clause. Suppose you are you want to get all the person whose postal code are starting with W. Okay, so percentage is wildcard here. This stand for like you want to select this much records from customer where postal code like means it starts with or like will be like particular operator. You can have this percentage in front of it. What it will do is it will search for W within postal code in between like in between the text. So if I have typed like I need W uh, percentage like that, this is a wildcard. It is saying that you need to select all the postal codes which are selecting with W, but doesn't matter after W what it has. So it doesn't matter. So it will just check the existence of W like at the first place. So if I will do percentage here, so it will check for the existence of W and at any place between the text. Okay, now there is one more thing. If you want to check W on second place, first you have to like basically mention this underscore. This stands for like first can be anything, then you need only W at the second place and whatever comes after it. So you want to select all the W all the records which are having postal code starting with W. So if I will run this query, I have these three-person having postal code starting with W. So you have worked with like also here. Okay, you are Now you can use in also. Like suppose in the first one, what we did is we were selecting the records which are from Berlin, the person, the customer who are from Berlin or from the London. So what I can do is I can replace this or with in clause. In clause and have multiple parameter. So what it will do is it will select these columns from customers where city can be either of Berlin or London. There could be like many more, like or something whatsoever you want. So you can add comma and then add your value whatever you want to compare with. So if we'll run this query, now here we'll see you have all the person who are from and London, Berlin and London. Okay, so here's your output. Coming to the next one, let me see what we got. Okay, now whenever you are working with where, you always have to remember what is the presidency, like precedence of your operator. So like suppose here what I am doing is I am selecting, I am adding two conditions. Both are like in the first location you want the person who is from London and having postal code this one. But also if any person is having this, then it is okay. Otherwise, if it is from if he or she is from Berlin, then also I want his result. So here what I have done is I have like added this circular brackets. So the presidency of parenthesis is more than like any other operator. So whatsoever I am doing in between, it will be resolving first this, then it will be going on this operator and the second condition. So it will give me two output. First of all, the person will be from London with postal code this, or he is from Berlin. So if I will run this query, I have two output. One, the person is from Berlin, and the second is from London with having postal code this, which we have mentioned about. So presidency is very much important when you are playing with where clause. Okay. So okay. Now what we have covered till now is we have covered where, and we have done few operator like or and like and in. Other than that, you have to remember one point, like parentheses are having highest precedency, which will be considered before like all conditions. So why? Because it is a simple board mass rule. Like suppose you have this mathematics, it will give you output 12, and but if you are having this parenthesis, it will resolve this summation first, then it will multiply with 5, and this will give you output 20. So precedence of your operator is very much important. So whenever you are playing with multiple conditions, use apply parentheses as whenever they are required. Don't leave them blank, otherwise or operator will cause issues. Sometimes it's ignore all the query all the condition after this or. So be specific about like parentheses. Okay, now coming toward group by clause. Okay, now why do we need grouping? Grouping, whenever we need aggregation, we need grouping of our columns. So suppose in group by, let me give a sample example. So suppose we have these 2% from Berlin and we have 3% from London. Now if I'm like saying that like person with name A, person with name B and ABC, then I'm asking for particular person. This is not the grouping, this is a detailed record. But when I'm saying there are two people from Berlin and two people from London, so that means I am grouping down all the peoples from Berlin as number 2, and I'm denoting all the people from London as 3. Like there are two people from Berlin and 3 people from London. 2 and 3 are not explaining me details about the person. It is giving that how many people are there. So whenever there is an like count summation or anything else like the operation which is denoting you like complete aggregation, like this is the aggregation of Berlin people and this is the aggregation of London people. So this here whenever we are doing some aggregation we require grouping. Okay, okay, now let's start with some of the example with grouping. Now what I am doing is I want all the cities and count of customer into them. So if I will run this, it will give me this output. Okay, now let me add applies to this count. Mm, Yep, sorry. Basically, it is not as strong as SQL Server, so pardon. Okay, now here what I have city name and the count of our customer into them. So like as in the London we do, we had six customers, so here we have six output. So this is how we do. Now the thing is, in the group by, what you have to do is you have to provide the column name which is not been aggregated. So now we are not aggregating city, we are aggregating the records in customer with respect to the city, like we need the city name. So I have to type this, like I have to add this to group by clause. Now I'm doing this one. Like suppose let us do more example. Okay, there is one more thing. uh, let me, okay, let me add, show it to you. Suppose I want to group it by country, then city, and then count. So if you will see, you have the output, but the thing is you have to, and like type both of these columns which are not been aggregated into the group by clause. So all the columns other than the aggregation columns, you have to mention them into group by clause. Okay, now coming toward the group, like doing some more example on group by. Suppose I am typing this query. Now first of all, let me do this one. Now it will count all the records from the product table. Sorry, there was some interruption. Okay, now in this query it is just providing you number of records from that table. But what if I add this one, like I want to group it by supplier ID. So let me show to you what we have in product table first. We have few columns here. We have product name, supplier ID, category ID. So what I'm doing here is I'm grouping it by supplier ID. Okay, so what I'm saying is I want to group by supplier ID and counting the like counting the number of record within it, in that group. So here I'm not specifying the group by clause. So if I will execute this query, this will give me an exception because supplier ID is not part as an aggregate function. So what I have to do is I have to add the supplier ID to the group by clause. Now always remember, whatsoever column will be other like in the in between the select and from, if it is not an aggregation column, then you have to mention that into the group by clause whatsoever. And you can use same sequence or whatsoever what sequence you want, but you need to mention that into the group by clause, like after the group by clause. So here you have your output, like we have supplier ID this, and we have this much product into them, and etc etc. And as you can see, like this is the random generated column name. You can give it as alias, whatever alias you want. Okay, here you have the output. Okay, now coming toward the next queries, here we have covered this one. Okay, now what I want to do is like supplier in the, like if you will see the product table, we have supplier ID and the category ID. Basically just for today I won't be covering like what are the categories in product. We will be doing it into the later lecture when we will be doing relational table. So what I want is, like one supplier can supply many categories and many products, and any each product belongs to some category. So what I want is I want to group it by supplier ID, then the category within it, and count of product. So I am doing aggregation two times. So what I am doing is I am saying supplier ID first, then I want customer like category ID within it, then count of product within that category. And I'm grouping it with both because I have these two like columns are not aggregate columns which we are doing aggregation on. And what I want is, after grouping them, I want to order it by supplier ID. So if I'll run this query, so here I have this supplier one. It is having two category groups. In like one category, category one, we have two product, and in second category we have one product. And grouping will go on, so going will go same. Like we have this two category, we have only like two supplier ID, the category is two, and we have four product into it. In the by the supplier ID 3, we have two groups, that is second group and second seventh group products. And in the second group we have two product, and in the seventh one we have one. So on, you can check it. And we will be later doing like selecting the supplier name and category name. But for today I just want to show you how group by work. You have to mention all the columns which are not aggregation into this one. So later in the later series we will be doing like summation and other operation also, when I will be working on like relational table. So I don't want to make it more complex today, so that's why I just did a simple example on group by clause, so that you can have a quick start. Okay, there's one more thing. Whenever you have condition, you can use where, but when you have aggregation condition, like what I'm saying is I want to select only those supplier IDs where which are having like product, so like supplied by them greater than 2. They have number of products supplied by them is greater than 2. So I want only those suppliers. So if I will run this query, it will give me only those supplier who are having greater than like the product count greater than 2. Suppose I do it 4. We have only these two suppliers supplying more than 4 products. If I do it more than 3, so whenever you are applying condition on aggregated column, you need to apply it with having clause. There is a difference between having and where. First of all, where will like where works on non-aggregation columns. Secondly, where doesn't require group by. But when it comes to the having clause, having clause cannot be work without group by. There must be some grouping, and also it will only work on basically columns which is being aggregated. Okay, it could be summation, average, count, or anything else. So let us tell me okay, now telling like let me explain you what are details and aggregation. Like suppose you are telling which product got sold. Now you are asking for which product, name of product, then you are asking for detail. Now if you will change your question to how many times product got sold, you are doing aggregation because you are just want like summary that what is the number of time, like what is the number which denote that how many times you have sold this product. Now whenever you're talking about like you want customer with addresses, you are talking about details. But when you are saying like how many customer are in this city or this region or under this category, you are doing aggregation there. So you have to differentiate like whether you are doing aggregation or detail. So whenever you like when you can distinguish between them, you can easily apply group by and having clause. So to summarize this, basically if the person is asking for how much, how many, what will be the sum, then you need to do group by always. Okay, and the columns other than who are getting summarized, you have to mention all of them into group by clause. Okay, after the group by clause. Now what we have covered till now is we have done simple select from where, from clause, where clause, and we have done some of this operator. We have used some of these operator using where. Also we have done group by clause and having clause. I will be uploading this script, okay, and this presentation on my website, that is textfire.in. You can download it from there. Also I will be placing this link under my YouTube video so that you can check, and these are my contact information. If you have any question, you can contact me by any medium, by mobile, using mobile or this email address. Let me add my Skype also. Skype is okay. So you are most welcome. You can also ask for private lecture. Keep learning. Thank you.